Hey guys, welcome to question FM286 of the Further Maths Fortify study guide. This question reads, Paul, Quincy, Ray and Samwise are going to make muffins. There are 4 jobs to take on in preparation and the group wants to complete them as quickly as possible. The table below shows the time in seconds that each person would take to complete each of the 4 tasks. And then we're given a table that represents this information here. If each person is given 1 task only, what is the minimum combined time in which the group could complete the 4 tasks? So we're going to go through a Hungarian algorithm, get an answer at the end of that, and then reapply it to the information that we were given here. So I'm not going to write out the PQRS J1 through 4 in each of the steps, but I'll put them back in when necessary. So we're going to start with a row reduction, like we do with the Hungarian algorithm. So the lowest number in this row is the 70. So we're going to minus that from everything in our first row. In our next row, the lowest number is 120. So we're going to minus that from each of the numbers here. Oops, 30. In our third row, the lowest number is 140. So we'll minus that from each of the elements here. And in row number 4, the lowest number here is 80, so we're going to remove that from each of our numbers here. Cool. So now that we've completed our row reduction, we'll notice that column number 2 doesn't have any zeros, so we're going to perform a column reduction on column number 2, and I'm actually going to do that just up here. So we keep column 1 exactly the same as it was, 40. And because 10 is the lowest number in column number 2, we're going to take that number and minus it from each of the numbers here. So 10 minus 10 is 0, 20 minus 10 is 10. And then columns 3 and 4 are going to stay the same as they did before. 30. Excellent. Now that we have this here, we're going to look at the lowest number of lines, what's the minimum number of lines it will take for us to cover up all of the zeros. So if we were to cover them up like this, it's going to take a minimum of 4 lines, which it matches the number of tasks that we have to assign here, which means that we have completed the Hungarian algorithm and don't need to do any more reductions. So now, placing this back in, PQRS and jobs 1, 2, 3 and 4. We use the zeros to create connections in a bipartite graph. So we might have job number 1, job number 2, job 3 and job 4 and match that up with P, Q, R and S. So you can see here that P can take on job 2, Q can take on job 1, R can take on jobs 2 and 3, and S can take on jobs 1 and 4. So, following connections like the job 4 can only be done by S, we can quickly figure out the optimum allocation here. And once we've figured out these allocations, we can go back to our original graph and circle the task that each person we're doing. So for example, Paul here will be taking on job number 2. So this is his job here. And then Quincy is going to be taking on job number 1. Ray will be taking on job number 3. And Samwise will be taking on job number 4. This question wants us to know what the minimum combined time in which the group could complete the 4 tasks is. So if we take these 4 numbers and add them together, so we've got 120 plus 80 plus 140 plus 80, altogether that's going to equal 420 seconds. And that is the minimum time. If you guys have any questions about this question, please drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.